out of his truck, blinking. The air was thick with that post-sunset warmth, crickets humming in the cactus brush. "Just got home," he replied. She tilted her head. "Huh, I thought I saw you leave about 10 minutes ago. You even waved at me." He laughed awkwardly, wiping the sweat from his brow. Must have been someone else. But Mrs. Ellery looked puzzled, almost unsettled. She nodded slowly and went back to her roses, muttering something under her breath. Inside, Ethan locked the door behind him and dropped his keys on the kitchen counter. The apartment smelled faintly of pine sol and old air conditioning. Marley, his aging German Shepherd mix, patted over and nudged his leg. He scratched behind. He hadn't been home since early morning. Weird, but not impossible. He let it go. 2 days later, he had 5 missed calls from one of his regulars, Langford, a quiet ex-Marine who always paid in cash and made sure Ethan checked every corner of his sprawling desert property. When Ethan called him back, Langford didn't waste time. "You came by this morning?" Ethan frowned. "No, you're not on schedule until the 10th. Silence. "I saw you here," Langford said, voice low and controlled. "Around 8:30. Full gear. Walk the perimeter. Sprayers slung over your shoulder, just like always." Ethan tried to laugh. Must have been another tech. Langford's tone darkened. He checked the bait trap behind the HVAC. Ethan's chest tightened. That trap was tucked behind a panel only he ever opened. No one else on the team was even aware of it. "I wasn't there, Langford. I swear." Langford didn't respond. A moment passed, then a soft beep. A Ring doorbell notification. The video arrived in Ethan's inbox 30 seconds later. He watched it 3 times. It was him. Or someone who looked like him. Exactly like him. Same cargo pants. Same black gloves. Same gait with a slight limp from an old ladder fall 3 years ago. But the hose, it was draped over the left shoulder. Ethan always went right. Always. And the man in the video didn't knock. He didn't pause to greet anyone. He just moved, calm, mechanical, practiced, like a ghost retracing familiar steps. Ethan's skin felt cold under the thin desert sweat. He called dispatch. No one was assigned to Langford's house that day. No emergency calls. No temps. No subs. He didn't sleep well that night. Days passed. Then another call came in. A complaint from Mrs. Vasquez. "She said you walked the yard, left the tag, and disappeared," his manager said. Ethan stared at the message thread in disbelief. "I was there. I have GPS logs. Photos. I sprayed everything. Foundation, beds, and garage door. Time-stamped. Then go reservice it," the manager said flatly. "Fine." He pulled up to the Vasquez property the next day, irritated but professional. The heat shimmered off the sidewalk. He knocked. Mrs. Vasquez answered, eyeing him like someone squinting at an old photograph. "You were already here," she said. "I wasn't," Ethan replied, jaw tight. "You didn't talk. Just walked the yard and left." It was weird. He apologized and resprayed the yard. All the while, her gaze followed him, unnerved, suspicious, as if she were watching a stranger in her backyard. He couldn't shake the feeling. That night, Marley didn't greet him at the door. Usually, the dog barreled toward him like a bowling ball with legs. But this time, Marley just lay in the hallway, watching, still, alert, not afraid, but confused, head cocked slightly. Ethan called his name. The dog didn't move. Then, slowly, Marley stood up, sniffed the air around him, wagged once. Barely. It was as if Marley wasn't sure it was really him. Ethan locked the doors, checked the windows, and double-checked them to ensure they were secure. Everything was as he'd left it, except for the shirt. In the bedroom, laid out neatly on the dresser, was one of his company polos. Clean, folded military style. His name patch pressed and centered. He hadn't worn it in over a week, and he never folded them like that. He stood in the doorway for a long time, staring at it. The apartment was quiet. Too quiet. 2 days later, he pulled into the lot and looked up. His bedroom light was on. The blinds were half drawn, and someone was standing in the window, a silhouette, motionless, watching. He ran. The stairwell echoed with his footsteps as he flew to the second floor, fumbling with his keys. The door was still locked, chained from the inside. He burst in. The apartment was silent. The bedroom was empty. The light was off. No signs of entry. Nothing touched. No footprints on the carpet. He checked the locks again. All secured. On Saturday, Brian from downstairs knocked. Friendly guy? Always borrowing tools. "Hey man," he said. "Thanks for the bag. Sarah said you lent it to her earlier this week." Ethan blinked. "What bag?" "The one with the small socket set and drill bits." Ethan forced a smile. "Right. Sure." When Brian left, Ethan went to his tool closet. The bag was gone. He never lent it to anyone. And only he had the key. His stomach turned. He paced the apartment for hours, every sound in the building distant and muffled. Like the walls were thicker. Like the air itself was heavier. It felt like being washed by something that wasn't physically present, but intimately familiar. He didn't feel alone. But he was alone. Wasn't he? That night, he installed a sliding bolt lock on his bedroom door. Not because he was scared, because he needed to know. If it opened, nothing happened for 6 nights. Then, on the 7th, at exactly 3:12 a.m., Ethan sat bolt upright in bed. Marley was at the foot of the bed, hackles raised, growling. Low, steady. The bolt lock was open. Not broken, not forced, just slid open. Ethan's heart thudded like a war drum. He grabbed the flashlight on the nightstand and swept the room. Empty, but the smell in the hallway was different. Faint, familiar. It was his cologne. A bottle Weeks have passed. He has logs, timestamps, photos, all proving where he's been, what he's done. But someone else, someone wearing his face, his clothes, his limp, is living fragments of his life when he isn't around. He hasn't caught him. He hasn't seen him. But others have. He's beginning to feel less like a person and more like a copy. Or maybe he was always the copy. Maybe the original already left. And whatever's still here, whatsoever's sleeping in this bed, feeding Marley, answering the door, it's only borrowing his skin.